Hello and welcome to the East Lampeter Township Public Meeting. All participants are now informed that this meeting is being recorded. This meeting is also being offered virtually utilizing Zoom, which is a cloud-based platform for remote video and audio conferencing. The Zoom application is free to the public. The general public is therefore able to join the meeting by connection through the internet or by calling in by phone. The public is also able to observe the meeting on the Township's YouTube channel. Please continue to check the Township website calendar for any updates related to these public meetings. Agendas for these public meetings will also be available on the Township's website. Please be reminded that this meeting is being video and audio recorded and will be posted to the Township's YouTube channel for viewing. The meeting will now proceed with the chairman calling the meeting to order and identifying all other members present in the meeting room and those joining the meeting via Zoom. The chairman will then confirm those members joining by Zoom can be heard.
Okay, good evening and welcome to the meeting of the East Lampeter Township Board of Supervisors for Monday, October 3rd, 2022. In the room this evening are all members of the Board of Supervisors. There are no members of the board on Zoom this evening. Township staff in the room tonight. We have missing individual. It's Ralph Hutchinson. He is off. Township manager. He is off for this evening. There is agendas in the back of the room. If you want to grab one of those, please do that. If you haven't signed in, if you would do that on your way out the door, we do not need that for the public record. Okay, if we can, join me in pledging allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item number 3 on this evening's agenda is public comment for non-agenda items. Is there anyone on? Fine, no one coming through. Okay, anyone here for non-agenda items, public?
And there's been no emails.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Moving on to item number 4, the consent agenda. We have approval of the October 3rd, 2022 Board of Supervisors meeting agenda. Number 4B is approval of the minutes of the Monday, September 12th, 2022 regular meeting of the Board of Supervisors. And 4C, approval to pay invoices from all funds for a total of $1,927,795.82. There are 2 items of note: $144,556.84 for Township Volunteer Fire Relief Associations, and that's actually a pass-through of state grants. $36,139.21 to each of our 4 fire companies. And then $1,377,777.49 to Fulton Financial for the East Lampeter Sewer Authority related debt service payments. Okay, is there a motion?
Second.
Okay, a motion's been made by Corey, second by Mike. Questions or concerns? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Thank you. 5B, we have a presentation from Lancaster Public Library. When it come up, you'll need to speak right into that so that it carries through, and you may have to actually pull it off of there and just talk right into it. Okay? Thank you.
This is talking about slide.
We did get some, you were very good. You brought some along, but you'll
So sorry.
You're gonna need to, there you go. Thank you.
There we go.
And actually, if you just pull it right out of there, a lot easier for you. There you go. Perfect.
Perfect. Thank
There
you.
you go.
Sorry.
Uh-huh.
I'll begin again. Thank you so much for having us again for
giving you an update on Lancaster Public Library. I have presented at this meeting 4 times, and 4 times it has poured rain. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm like, it's raining. It must be East Lampeter.
Good play.
We start each of our board meetings with our mission. We think that it keeps us grounded and moving forward of what Lancaster Public Library is about. So I'll just read it to you tonight. The Lancaster Public Library inspires, empowers, and strengthens our community by connecting people with information, ideas, and enriching experiences. 20% of your residents do have library cards. They borrowed over 67,000 pieces of material in 2021, which equates to well over $1 million worth of materials that they did not have to buy, that they were able to get for free from the public library. Lancaster Public Library is very pleased to say that we have the largest and probably the deepest collection of any of the libraries here in Lancaster County. We have over 192,000 pieces of material. That does not include our streaming opportunities for our patrons and databases, which they can access for free with a library card. We spend over $200,000 a year. That's 12% plus of our operating expenditures on our collection. And again, that is print, audio, DVDs, databases, and magazines, as well as board games and American Girl dolls and other materials that all can go out for free. We also pride ourselves on having the most staff who do have their masters in library science. In order to be called a librarian, you do have to have the masters of library science. And we have them in all of our departments at the library, including our adult services and our children. As I said, we are much more than a book depository. We lend hotspots. We have our Autism Resource Center, which is one of the only ones in the United States and was the first in the state of Pennsylvania. We have our streaming services. We have our ebooks, e-audio books that all are able to be taken out for free. We have board games, yard games, cake pans. We try to meet all the needs of our community. And as I've said in the past, we have to raise a majority of our own operating budget. Last year, we raised 63% of our operating budget through the big book sale, other book sales, fines, fees, and other fundraising ways in which to raise money for our operating funds. Unfortunately, you've seen this in the past and it hasn't changed. The national average for local government funding is $37.62. For Lancaster Public Library and just Lancaster Public Library, none of the other libraries in the county, our revenue is $1.49 per capita. As you can see, we are below average until it comes to raising our own funds. And we raise about $4.70 per person who has a library card at Lancaster Public Library. And the comparison in the state is pretty overwhelming. When you consider that we are the fourth library to raise the most funds, we come after the Carnegie in Pittsburgh and the Free Library of Philadelphia. And we probably have actually moved up to 3 when they redo this survey, because York Public Library had gotten a majority of their operating funds from being the library for the school district of York. They lost that contract. And so we were ranked 4th after them. I would imagine we'd go up to 3. We also are ranked 8th out of 450 Pennsylvania public libraries for the size service area and the amount of our collection. But then we go to the bottom and are ranked 429 for the number of staff per capita, and ranked 439 out of 450 public libraries for local funding per capita. So again, we come and we ask that you consider continuing and increasing your support to Lancaster Public Library as we get ready for our next chapter. We are on course with opening our new library in second quarter 2023. We expect to have a ribbon cutting sometime in April, pending that we have no more delays, supply chain delays. Right now, we're waiting for aluminum. Something, but it's pretty exciting to watch take our square space in the first 2 floors of the Christian Street parking garage in downtown Lancaster and transform it into a 21st century library. As the timeline shows, we are on course for finishing in spring of 2023. Before I ask for questions, I'm going to introduce, we have 2 board members with us, Henrietta Eisler and Lucas Stacy. He's going to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. Lissa, thank you for the introduction. As Lissa said, my name is Lucas Stacy. This will be my 4th year on the Board of Trustees for the Lancaster Public Library. Would like to thank you for your continued support and all of the work you do to help make everything that Lissa and her staff was able to achieve at the Lancaster Public Library. Unfortunately, as you saw during Lissa's presentation, we receive about $1.50 from our municipal governments at present. The state, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, recommends a minimum of $5 per person. I'm not going to ask you for that. That would be an enormous economic lift compared to prior giving. I think that's a reasonable expectation. What I would like to ask you for, though, is that all of the monies you have allocated to libraries within your budget is directed towards the Lancaster Public Library. Our kind of governing body here locally oversees all of the libraries within the county. It designates given service areas, which essentially says, hey, libraries, you are responsible for making material available to this given community. Your community falls within the communities that we are designated to serve. So it would be our ask that any contributions you do make come to the Lancaster Public Library. My final ask is kind of really just the table stakes for us to be able to continue to serve you in the way that we have historically, would be a 9% increase over last year's contributions, and that you designate $19,982 for the Lancaster Public Library. With that said, I will just thank you once again for your time. And if you do have any questions, Lissa, Henrietta, and myself will be happy to address them.
Thank you. You say you're looking for a 9%?
9% increase, and that is predominantly driven just based on inflation. We would take
Henrietta, ever the small business person. Good. Questions, gentlemen, questions? Tara, bring that one back to the budget talks. 9% increase. I saw you writing that down.
9% increase. I did write that down for the
Or
budget.
Henrietta, Henrietta would like more, so just write that from you.
I have a question. How is your project budget going?
It's going very well. Pre-pandemic, it was at $6.9 million. It has gone up post-pandemic to 10 million, but we are well on our way. We have well over, I owe $8 million. I got my zero and my decimal points. We have over $8 million. So we have a little less than 2 million of the 10 million. That also includes money for our endowment. It's not just for the building itself. It includes endowment money for the future.
Thank you.
Further questions? We'll be there in the spring.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Now you have to make sure you have your hard hat and your safety glasses on in the spring. You won't need them anymore. We will have to close for about a month in order to actually move, even though we're moving a block. We have a lot of things to move, so we will be shutting down our Duke Street branch for a period of time. And in that period of time, we won't be able to send our materials out to other libraries because of the size of our collection. Even if your residents are going to other libraries, they probably are getting materials from Lancaster Public Library. We send many books out on a daily basis to other libraries for them to borrow.
During that 30 days that you'll be shut down, are you still going to maintain the digital access? So people can get
Absolutely.
all of their digital
Everything,
resources?
anything, databases that you can access from home, and our Hoopla and our Overdrive will still be up and running. Absolutely. Yes, thank you.
One more on the finance. How about your existing building? Have you sold that?
We have a commitment from a group of investors from St. James Episcopal Church who are allowing us to stay in it until we are ready to move. And then we will finalize the sale of the building.
Is that amount included in your 8 million
Yes,
that you've raised?
some of it.
Okay.
We are holding some of it back for the endowment.
Okay, thank you.
And in that 10 million, it also includes some contingency money that we're hoping maybe we won't have to use, but going to construction meetings, and I know Henrietta can say this too, it's funny how they keep finding costs for us to use that money.
The building project. Okay, thoughts, concerns?
Just a quick
ahead.
question. So you had mentioned, maybe you can clarify. Are you saying it's the county library board that sets the service area?
Correct. So there are funding requirements where they essentially allocate based on the region you serve, the population, the amount of circulation you have, all contribute to how we are funded and also instruct who our service area is. In fact, as Lissa mentioned, something that is a little bit of a challenge for us as being the largest library in the area. We do support a lot of other folks' collections where, they will take a book out. It's actually from our circulation. The library who they are checking that book out from receives a greater amount of funding for having that book pass through their library than we do for actually purchasing that item, for the housing of that item, for reshelving once it comes back. So it's really important that we're able to find funding for ourselves as kind of the home base for a lot of that collection throughout the county.
It's been a few years since I served on that board. Have they revised the funding formula?
That is not the case yet, but we are striving for one day being able to.
I wrote the draft. I was on the library board, yes, the county board. When they reorganized, I was part of the new board that came in and we did the strategic plan. This was
13, 14.
over a decade ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Herb was our.
Herb was there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bill Hudson and yeah, it
And,
was,
and in that respect too, just this year, the state of Pennsylvania gave an increase of 17% to libraries across the state. And with that formula, we did not see that 17%. We got a lower percentage, whereas some libraries got a very much higher percentage than that. So yeah, we're working on that formula.
That'd be a good one to do, because we do a very basic formula, as you know, we just take 83% of our residents last year did not use the Lancaster Public Library. They used Manheim Township, Pegway, Strasburg. That's where people are. So we're basically saying, since we have no library here, and we've seen usage drop since Leola was closed. When Leola was open, there was a lot more residents in East Lampeter that would go to Leola branch of Lancaster Public Library. So we'll see, hopefully with the new library, you can attract some traffic down, but right now the vast majority of our folks are going elsewhere. So we just sort of divide up based off of that, but we also have increased funding for libraries every year since I've been on the board, so over 8 years. So our funding now is over $40,000, I believe.
That's correct.
Is our current. So, and that was the target we set about 8 years ago. So the just general thought process for the newer board members was taking that $5 per capita recommendation, which hasn't changed in over a decade. And then saying, because this is also, because it's your area, this is your funding, this is your fundraising area either. So the other libraries don't fundraise in these areas. This is sort of where I ask each year, how much are you fundraising in East Lampeter? I don't know if you know that. So I've never gotten an answer.
I'm not sure. I can try to find that out. I know that we are working with Clark Associates, which is just down your road. And they have been generous with us, and we're hoping for more generosity with them. I don't, but I can find out what other funding we are getting from this area. I'm curious because we can't find that out. When we say 20% of your residents, you have library cards. That's library cards, no matter where the home library is. I'm curious how you get the number of how many of your patrons go to certain libraries.
We're just using the circulation numbers from Lancaster County Library System for the previous year. And that's how we've done that. And some years we looked at the top 3, some years the top 4. We looked at top 5, but we haven't gone down. So that's where we get those numbers. Because our objective, or one of my objectives when I got on, was if the township contributes half of that $5 and then the private sector donates the other half, now we're at that $5 funding for our residents. But we'd also love to entertain the idea of getting a library.
I will reiterate what Lucas said, though. Those numbers do not show that where the material is from. And a lot of that circulation is coming from Lancaster Public Library.
Yeah. And the existing funding formula, you get compensated for being interlibrary loans. So because you're chosen to be that library for those.
But it's not as fair as if the circulation came to us. As you know, the formula is rather.
Formula is old and outdated.
Yeah.
It should be updated.
Yeah, it has hurt us over the years.
How about the digital access? Can you track that to regions?
We can track it. We are one of the libraries that we pay for our own overdrive, so we can track those numbers. But the system also buys overdrive, it's actually the district buys overdrive that is available to everybody. So we can see how many circulations there are, but we can't see from where they're coming. We can only tell you for what we pay for that they're coming, how many circulations our patrons have on that using overdrive, if they're coming from our pot of where we spent the money. It gets divided. Patron doesn't know that, but the back tabulations on the computer know that.
So okay, so you would be able to find out if that's coming from Lancaster City or if that's driven through Manheim Township.
No, Manheim Township has their own overdrive
Okay.
account. We have our own. And then we all have the pot. So Manheim
Okay.
Township can tell you their circulation for what they pay for.
Okay,
And we can tell you what we pay for, but we can't tell you how the big county pot is divided up in
Okay.
circulation.
all right.
Just one last question.
No, Mike.
Anything new with your relationship to the school districts? With the new library?
We are always open. We do work with Conestoga Valley. Quite a lot. We do outreach with them and we go to their schools. We will continue that as we move forward. We're hoping to do more and more outreach as staff permits, because we are limited staff with a limited budget. We did hire a new librarian position this year for our very youngest patrons who are from birth to preschool, so early literacy. So she is working with a variety of daycares and other facilities throughout this area.
Homeschool students?
They can come and work with us. We don't go to them right now in any one spot, but we do have programs during the day that are geared towards homeschool or science programs and other programs.
Okay, good. Well, you got a former principal at the end there and you got former board member of the
we like
library as
that.
well. Too. So got some sincere interest.
They're very much needed in the community, so thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks for
Thank you.
coming, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for all your work. You got it. There you go. You got it. Perfect. There you go. Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, under old business, 6A, a request for financial security reduction. Phase 2, Zook Yoder Esch Willow Road. Looks like township engineer is recommending $50,424.45 as the reduction, would leave a remaining balance of $10,000. Anything on here, Tara, that we should be concerned about not going to get done?
No,
Okay. Yeah, she says. So remaining balance would be 10,000. There a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Okay, moved by Ethan, seconded by Roger. Questions or concerns? Hearing none, those in favor?
all right,
Those opposed? Okay, the motion carries. 6B, a request for financial security release, Pine Hill Trailers, Lincoln Highway, and engineer's letter says there'd be no remaining balance. Full release, $31,504.
that's correct, but there is a condition there
Okay,
that the as-built plan be recorded and proof of that recording be provided to the township.
okay. And the,
The applicant is aware.
okay, good. All right, is there a motion?
Make a motion for full reduction, conditioned on the as-built plan being recorded and proof provided to the township.
Second?
Okay, motion by Ethan, second by Mike. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 6C, a request for financial security reduction, LMS Lincoln Highway East. So Lancaster Mennonite School Access Loop. Our recommended reduction is for $486,919.51, remaining $84,254.39. To comments on the engineer's letter. Tara, is the applicant aware of these?
There's actually 7 comments.
Ah,
And yes, the applicant is aware of this.
okay. Okay, good. All right, is there a motion?
motion to approve the escrow reduction. Lancaster Mennonite School down to $84,254.39. With the applicant recognizing that there's 7 comments attached to this reduction.
Okay, motion by Roger. Is there a second? Seconded by Corey. Questions or concerns? Hearing none. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Under new business, 7A, High Associates Land Development Plan number 22-14, 525 Greenfield Road. And there is Chris Benarchek. So Chris, introduce yourself. Nope, Chris did not step up there. Sorry. I didn't even look up. I just saw Chris appeared. He was carrying it.
Good evening. I'm Ryan Walker from RGS Associates, not Chris Vanarchik.
That's
So
right.
sorry for those. who
Ryan,
were
that
expecting
is,
him.
you are just as welcome here, Ryan. Thank you.
So here to present the 525 Greenfield Road project, final land development plan and subdivision. It's already gone through PC recommendation. So just a short introduction to the project itself. This is along Greenfield Road, just across from Sheets, that was completed a couple of years ago. It's within the BP Business Park Zone. It's about 1.07 acres. Currently, as the site is today, there is a existing two-story office building with associated parking. The applicant is proposing that building be taken down and in its place proposing a 2,500 square foot restaurant with associated parking, drive-through, and some dumpster. The site itself is actually along two different frontages of Greenfield Road. One's State Road, one is Township Road. We are utilizing the existing connection points. One is in the State Road and one is in the Township Road, but we're not proposing any improvements within the existing right of way. So therefore, we are not going to have an HOP. All the improvements are tying in outside of the right of way. Traffic report was done to analyze the amount of new trips associated with the project. There's a total of 47 new trips for the peak rate. So TIS was not needed. It didn't meet the 100 additional trip threshold set by the ordinance. Additionally, the average weekday trip generation is less than the 1,500 threshold. So these two driveways will continue as low volume driveways, providing access onto the site. The layout, as you can see, it's a 2,500 square foot building. The amount of parking that's provided meets the zoning ordinance. We're proposing a drive-through lane that actually has 6 more stacking cars than minimum requirement. There's also a bypass lane that could be used in the future, but right now it's just proposed to provide access around. Say you need to get out and go somewhere when you're in line, you got the room to do so. Pedestrian connections are provided to the north to the Hampton Inn site. Currently, this sidewalk does go across the property line. So we're proposing a connection to that, and then cuts across to provide access to the restaurant. We also have a sidewalk along the frontage as well. From a stormwater management standpoint, we're actually proposing less impervious than out there currently today. So it's a reduction in impervious, and that meets our requirement for rate control because we're not increasing. Volume control is handled through, and it might be a little difficult to see here, but this black dashed line here is a subgrade stone infiltration facility that's going to handle the volume requirements from the south. From an NPDS and ENS standpoint, we are proposing less than an acre disturbance. So we don't need an NPDS permit. However, an ENS plan was submitted to the Conservation District and approved on August 29th. Just a couple other items from introductory standpoint. Utilities, sewer and water are going to be met with proposed laterals to the existing mains that are out in Greenfield Road. Currently addressing comments from both the city of Lancaster and East Lampeter Township. No sewer module is needed because the increase in gallons per day did not exceed 1 EDU. So we don't need a sewer module in that case. And then I'm going to flip this around real quick just to address and show from a saldo standpoint, we are proposing a subdivision for these two lots. So 521 gets a portion of this existing parcel that was flag lot. So we're essentially taking the pole of the flag and adding it to 525. And then 521 is a combination of the remainder of this lot that didn't have an address. So it's just the Greenfield Road property and 521. So that becomes a combined parcel that way. This lot has frontage. There were modifications and deferrals that were seeked and were granted as part of the PC. So if there are any questions about those, I'd be happy to do this one.
Okay. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that. Gentlemen, we all have the David Miller letter of September 2nd. Under waivers, modifications, and deferrals, township engineer is recommending 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points, 1 through 8, probably even 9 as well. 1 through 8, at least, recommending granting those. Some notes under subdivision, some notes also under stormwater. Tara, anything here that,
Well, Mr.
Okay.
Chairman, I believe there's actually deferrals along Hempstead for sidewalk and curbing because of the subdivision that's occurring.
Mm.
That portion of what will be 521 would require curbing and sidewalk. Deferral request makes sense here. We're joining in partnership with High to move forward with improvements to the Hempstead Greenfield intersection. And so a deferral agreement would be the best choice.
good, good. Thank you, Tara. On 5 and 6, correct. Yep. Okay, questions, comments?
Do you have a chance to review the County Planning Commission comments?
Yes, so there were 9 comments from the County Planning Commission. They were comments regarding a lighting plan that we now have, comments about signage, some questions about the dumpster pad, pavement markings, and then also a revision to the deeds that will be necessary as part of the subdivision process.
And they also want about a depressed curb at the terminus of the drive-through.
Correct. So that was in regard to the sidewalk that is cutting, making a connection here, north part. We are not going to be proposing that depression because the existing sidewalk that is on the Hampton Inn property has 2 staircases. So this connection is not ADA. We can't make this ADA because of the existing slope. So if you're utilizing this connection, you wouldn't be utilizing an ADA path anyway. So that's why we don't have that shown here or here. But there are depressed curbs out front, and it's a little hard to see under here, but the sidewalk that extends off of the roadway. So either ADA all the way along the frontage and then across this access, the drive aisle to the north.
And what about, is there, it's like you've got it also where the 2 handicap parking spots are as well?
Yes, yeah. So the 2 handicap parking spaces have an ADA accessible curb depression at the gore area that then enable you from here to both doors.
Okay.
Good, good questions. Anybody else? Okay. All right, Ryan, let's see what the board wants to do. Okay. Okay, gentlemen.
Thank you.
We've heard from the applicant presentation, looking for the approval of the final land development lot add-on, lot consolidation, and land development plan. So that's a mouthful.
Make a motion to approve land development plan for High Associates number 22-14. conditioned on the township engineer's letter dated September 2nd. Granting waivers and modifications 1, 2, 3, 4. And granting the deferral requests for 5 and 6, and then also granting 7 and 8.
Okay.
And the rest conditioned on the township engineer's letter.
Okay, motion by Ethan, second by Corey. Questions?
Can we add the LCP letter of July 1st?
LCPC letter? Oh, County Planning Department, I guess we're not calling
County
it that.
Planning Department.
Okay,
Are there outstanding items that they have not already addressed, Chair?
I have not seen the review certificate. And it may be on the latest set of plans.
Which item is that? That
That would be item number 2.
number 2.
oh, yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, Ethan, you want to add that to your?
Also conditioned on LCPC letter, specifically items number 1 and 2, 3. I think the rest they've already taken care of or we're not addressing.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay, Corey. Okay, thank you. I've modified. Appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so Ethan's motion, Corey's second. Questions or concerns? Hearing none. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Thank you both. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, item number 7B, we have a request for waiver of land development planning, Diener's Restaurant, Lincoln Highway East. Is there anyone here for this?
There
No
is not.
There's not. Okay, so Tara.
Right, so the applicant is looking to place a utility shed in the back of the lot. And when I say the back, the north end of the lot. And the utility shed is for equipment to use to maintain the property. It's over an already existing impervious area. It does not affect the parking spaces in any way whatsoever. Therefore, it doesn't require stormwater. This is under the purview of the board as to whether or not the land development would be required.
Make a motion to approve the requested waiver of land development planning.
Okay, motion by Ethan. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Mike. Any questions or concerns about the motion? Okay, hearing none. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Thank you. 7C, we have an ECHO agreement, 2149 Colleen's Way.
We do. Mr. Lynch is looking to care for a new family member in the ECHO agreement, in the ECHO unit that is currently on the property. And so the agreement needs to indicate the name of the person under care. And so this is just changing from one to another.
Good. A motion?
The motion to accept the ECHO agreement for 2267 Old Philadelphia Pike as presented.
2149?
I'm sorry,
Sorry,
2149.
2149. Okay.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mike, second by Ethan. This is to continue the ECHO arrangement with the occupancy of the unit changing to a different phone number. Okay. All right, good. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? A motion carries. Thank you. Item number 7D on ECHO agreement for 2267 Old Philadelphia Pike.
So this is slightly different. This is 3 units on the property that were developed without permitting. That was for 3 apartments. The new owner is looking to rectify this situation. They are actually looking to house a family member in an ECHO unit, have an ADU on the property and the single family.
Okay.
So they bought the 3 unit.
That's correct.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the signed ECHO housing agreement for 2267 Old Philadelphia Pike as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, seconded by Ethan. Motion by Ethan, seconded by Roger. Questions?
Just a
Mr.
comment.
Ethan.
appreciate the property owner addressing this and you working with staff to work on this. And I think it might be worth considering moving forward if we want to look at allowing triplexes or quads in our residential two zone. That type of density doesn't seem out of character for the region. Might be worth a discussion, potential technical amendment.
Yeah. Yeah. Thoughts? Staff?
We'll share that with the zoning officer.
Thank you. That's right. I forgot. Take off your hat. I forgot. Yeah, no, good idea. Okay. Did I take a motion?
Yes, it's.
Oh, yeah, Ethan had a question on the
Motion
motion.
and second
Thank
were
you.
made.
Yes. Motion
That
and a
was a
second. Yeah.
comment.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Action items 8A, a resolution in reference to the use of forfeiture funds for training.
As you may recall, Chief Serby asked for the use of forfeiture funds for Spanish lessons for an undercover detective. And they were very well received and worthwhile, and therefore there's a request to continue those.
Okay,
Make a motion to approve the resolution regarding the use of forfeiture funds for training as presented.
motion by Ethan, second by Mike. Second by Corey. Okay. All right. Questions, concerns? All right, hearing none. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Now, there's no manager tonight. So is this the assistant manager's report?
We could call it that.
Okay, we'll take it.
So this is an MS4 report for the board, and I'm happy to report that staff was able to get the annual report into DEP in a very timely manner prior to the deadline. We also were able to submit the changed and revised PRP. So that is now at PADEP for review. That, as you may recall, includes a number of changes with a large number of properties now listed in there as potential pollution reduction projects.
Hmm.
We've also worked closely with HAC and with DMA to move forward a stream bank restoration and riparian buffer project. This is a great public-public partnership that we have with them. And we're looking at about 2,100 linear feet of stream bank restoration on their properties. That will result in a significant reduction for the township in the end.
Good, good.
If you weren't aware, PADEP has held off on the NOI for MS4 permit municipalities. And we now have a new timeline of 2025. That doesn't mean we can stop and put things on hold because we are still held to the 2023 PRP deadline.
Okay.
That's all I have for you tonight.
Sarah, the way you throw around acronyms is amazing.
Yeah.
The PADEP, the PRP,
Oh, I'm
HAC,
sorry.
HAC is doing it with DMA.
Sorry.
Like, wow, man,
We need a
definitely a code. going on there.
dictionary.
Okay, any questions for the assistant township manager giving the manager's report from the vantage point of the assistant township manager's responsibilities? Okay. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion at 8:19.
Second.
Motion by Corey, rapidly seconded by Ethan. Those in favor?